there's so much more for them to do. Like it used to be
all the time.
Yeah.
And Wednesday's not sacred.
The schedule
Sunday's
is
not
busy.
sacred. There is no sacred days anymore. So you're competing with, whether you want to or not, you're competing with a lot of different things. I had a guy today who was going to go to camp, and he's like, "Wow, I got basketball games scheduled this weekend. I can't go to camp." And it's like, man, you don't want to beat them up, but at the same time, you want to be like. So I was like, hey, you got to take care of your soul in this process of becoming an athlete as well. But you're going to compete against that stuff, and the hard thing is not take it personally.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to my camp. Why do I have to go to this game? And then it's not even personal. Like they may still really love God, still really want to follow God, but they're in a world where going to church every Sunday or Wednesday is not as important as it used to be. Let's just be honest. In the culture we're in, it is not seen as important.
And so I think somebody spoke to this too. Is like the parents of the kids that we minister to. They were raised in that environment like I was raised, where church wasn't an option. Like it was, you're going until you're 16, 17, 18, you're going, and so they were raised in that environment. And so now they're raising kids and they're making it optional because they don't want to force feed it. So you combine that with exactly like Q said, the competition, and I think it's easy sometimes. I know for me personally, it's not that I take it personally that kids don't want to come or kids pick ball. It's just like in the back of my mind, I let Satan whisper, you can't compete with ball. You can't compete with bands. You can't compete with all of the things that the phone, the social media, the pressure, like you can't compete with that. And so I think that is, and for me personally, it's just hard sometimes to get over that viewpoint and then see, like you said, like I have some kids that are really awesome kids, but I miss them because I'm always thinking about the ones that are not there. You know what I'm saying? Like I miss them doing what they're supposed to do.
And isn't that interesting? Like sometimes you get in this idea, this thought process to where you have to choose, like, do I minister to those who actually want to be there, or do I spend my time going after those kids?
And to me, it's even hard biblically because I just preached on Sunday, like, which one of you who has 100 sheep and one goes missing, that you don't leave the 99 in the open field to go get the one that's lost. And so it's like, I think sometimes I use that as an incorrect justification. Like, well, I'm not going to worry about who's here. I'm only going to focus on who's missing because God does that with the 99, like in the one. But I think
you're also not Jesus too.
Yeah, exactly.
Can I say too? I think Darren, these guys may not experience as much as me and you did. When we grew up in the age that you were expected to go to church, what happened is a lot of churches didn't do church very well.
No.
Because people were expected to come.
And
so you have
get out of here with your logic.
So you have a generation.
What a lost opportunity.
You have a generation that was raised up that when they were young, they might come to something on Wednesday night that really was dynamic. Yep. And they go to a Sunday that was kind of lackluster.
Yeah.
And so they lost the passion of wanting to be there all the time. And I think that's we face that culturally. And the other thing, I think that when it comes to how we compete against these other things, the one thing I keep reminding myself is that when a student is going through some kind of trauma or hard time or tragedy or loss, it's in those moments that if we're there as ministers, we become more important than ball. Because ball won't be there for you in those moments, but people will. And so I think you just got to.
It doesn't hurt you when you're hurting.
Play the long game.
You got to be consistent.
Play the long game.
And just be there, and not let it hurt your feelings when they're not coming, when they don't show up every Wednesday, when they don't go to camp, you just can't let it hurt your feelings. You got to love them and be there for them, and give them. Like, we don't need to be lazy. What happened is ministers got lazy. I can't tell you, man. When I was growing up, the one thing that would frustrate me, and I felt the draw to it, honestly, was that if you were a pastor, you were on some high pedestal, and it almost like
didn't matter what you did.
You could be lazy. Yeah. Yep. You could just come to your office, sit in your office, study for 25 hours for a sermon that you're going to preach for 1 hour, which blows my mind, by the way. Just blows my mind. Like, I ain't never studied that much for a test. It's going to be a 3-hour test. I ain't never studied that long for it. So, like, you're studying that long for that. So you're sitting. half of a 40-hour work week, you're sitting in the office. The other time you might drive to a hospital one day. But like the people out there that are competing for their attention, they're grinding every single day. They're creating things to try to get their attention.
In their life.
Like, oh man, they're grinding while we just got lazy.
Yeah.
The ministry and the church got lazy, and that's why we lost people's attention.
So here in Mount Vernon, we do Man Church with Rick Burgess, and one of the most impactful sessions in there is I'm not going to be able to quote it verbatim, but Rick was talking about, he said, we lack ministers who get after it. Mm-hmm. It's like too many ministers, they go to seminary and they get into this game of ministry because they think in their head it's an easy job.
Yes.
And that's so true. It's not even funny.
And for a season, it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy.
Everybody was coming and it didn't matter what happened. Yeah.
It's like, what are you going to do on Sunday? Going to church.
Going to church.
Yeah.
What are you doing Wednesday night? Going to church. Mm-hmm. What about Sunday night? Well, I'm going to church.
Yep.
I mean, people just went. I did that.
I did that
every single day.
I mean, I was not given a choice. I mean, really, if you really think about it.
You know what? We never asked around my table. Is our pastor really that good?
Yeah.
Is the church really? Is the message that good? You know, we did. We just went to church.
I mean, as much as I hate to say it, right, we never.
No critical analysis of what's happening.
No.
You know,
I don't ever remember.
Well, you remember what happened when they did that to Moses? The ground opened up, man.
Well, there you go. You know what?